right, welcome back to Targeted. Today in the studio, I have Dave Hups, first degree black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. What's one mistake that gets people killed?
Not listening to their gut feelings.
Yeah, it's definitely there.
So.
Yeah.
Right. I think that you feel like, oh, this situation, something doesn't feel right, and you just go along. You just go ahead with it, right? How many times have we done that in like just any area of life?
Yeah.
We go, I shouldn't have been there in that room. Shouldn't have gone to that party as a kid. Shouldn't have, whatever it is.
Spidey sense
something
we didn't listen
says,
to.
That intuition, just we didn't listen to it, and we put ourselves in a situation that's not good.
All right. Should you always fight back?
No, I think we kind of talked about that, right? Get away. Let's stop the threat and then go. Like, I don't want to be in a fight. I don't want to get to the point that if I am carrying a gun that I have to pull it out.
Yeah. So you're in the fight. You can't help that. What's the mindset? Like, how do I, as a person trying to avoid this fight, how do I get out of it? Like, what am I doing?
So it's that confidence that I'm not going to be a victim. I'm not going to let you win. Yeah. Right. My daughter's like, when I've talked with her about it, and she's done obviously some of my courses and that, her mindset goes to her kids. Like, I'm going to be there for my kids.
It's important.
Right. I got 2 little kids. I'm not going to be a victim. So if heaven forbid anything ever happened, one, she knows she's going to try and get away, and she's definitely pays attention to her surroundings. But if something happens and you're in the fight, like, you got to think about, why am I fighting back, and what's your why? What's your reason for wanting to be here still?
I mean, well, if you think about that before the fight, definitely something you can draw upon when you're in it.
Right.
So is that part of your class? Do you say, okay, why are you guys all here? And it's not because of you.
It's not because of me. Right?
You know what I mean? No, not like that. No, I'm not saying not because of me, the professor. I'm saying it's like everyone who shows up to your class, they're there for a reason.
Yeah, what made you take this?
Yeah.
I did one not long ago, and it was it was a church group, had me come in for a bunch of their youth and girls 12 to 18. But one of the leaders was there was like, hey, and one of the things I was showing was a hair grab. And she's like, that happened to me in college. I didn't know what to do.
Wow.
Like, is this going to work? I was like, well, let's test it out. It's like, and her thing was, the dude was like over 6 feet tall. Like, is what you're showing going to work? Let's test it out. Mm-hmm. So we role played it, and pretty, we don't usually go aggressive, but she was like, I want to see this. And so she came into the thing just like being there to observe.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, she's like, wait, something happened to me. What you're teaching would have benefited me in college. Like,
it's crazy.
Now all of a sudden she's like, this became real to her.
Yeah.
This wasn't just, a fun class, because it's a lot of fun, but it became, now I know something. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make sure my daughters are paying attention to this.
Have you had any of your students come back to you and say, hey, that really saved my life?
So at the gym, 100%. Yeah. You would be surprised how many police officers we've had come back in and be like, yeah, I get some training. And a lot of police departments are now offering jiu-jitsu or a police jiu-jitsu, a variation of it, which more need to do. That's a whole nother, right?
Yeah, it's a whole nother topic. We'll get into that later.
We can get into that later. But you'll be surprised how many come back and go, hey, what you taught last week, I used. Mm-hmm. And it helped me subdue this criminal, this person. Yeah. And that's happened more than once. I mean, it's probably a dozen times or more, where an officer or somebody's come in and been like, situation and what you taught last week, I actually used.
Yeah. Like, how does that make you feel?
Dude, that's my why.
Right.
Right. That's
probably why you're starting to do.
That's my why. I got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because I just loved the physical aspect. I watched UFC,
everyone does.
Everyone saw it. Like, hey, I want to do that. And I got into it, fell in love with the sport. Yeah. But I started doing this because of situations like that. Yeah. Like, I want to see people protected and know what to do if a situation arises.
The world needs more good guys and gals doing good things in bad times sometimes.
Yeah.
And so that's huge. All right. let me ask you a couple more. I got a couple more for you. I hope I'm not taking your time.
No, this is great, man. This is fun.
All right. Do you think that any training that has to do with protecting yourself is a one and done situation?
No.
Why not?
How many times have I shown a move at the gym, like for yourself?
Okay.
How many times have I shown?
Well, I'm stupid, so when it comes to some of this stuff, I'm like, what is this called? I don't even know how to say this.
Yeah, I don't know what the name of this is, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's not just you. It's like you ask any student, right?
No, you're
like,
picking on me. That's
I'm
okay.
picking on
Yeah,
you,
come
like,
on. Come in the studio, pick on me.
That's right.
I see how this is going to go.
It might bite me. I don't know. But, right, but how many times you've done it? And then a week later, I'm like, hey, dude, we just showed that last week. And you're like, I don't remember even learning that.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. And that's why, like, my curriculum in some of the classes I teach repeat themselves every 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
Because you need that repetition.
Yeah.
Right? You need to experience it and drill it multiple times. So
do you have like a refresher like training somewhere so people can like practice on their own or do it at home? Like how do you approach that?
yeah, I mean, so everything I'm showing in the self-defense side of it is stuff they can do at home.
Yeah, okay.
They don't need mats. We're not throwing anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, if they want to see some throws and stuff, we can do it. I got mats I can bring that we blow up and
you have insurance probably.
And we have insurance, yes. But
so if they want to throw, they can, but that's not that. It's not that. That's not the focus.
But it's stuff that they can work on together at home.
Yeah.
So whether it's with, your husband, your boyfriend, your daughter, your sister, whatever, it's things they can work on at home. And I've had people take the course more than once, the same thing. And they're like, oh, this is great. I picked up something new I didn't get from last time that stood out to me.
That's always, it's good whenever you watch a good movie or you get good instruction and you just watch it again. You're like, okay, reading a book. I read a book. Some of the books I've read, the Bible is one of them. I pick up something new every time I read the Bible.
Every single time you read it, something new stands out.
Yeah, and it's just your experience level changes, so you look at it differently.
Yep.
So even if I've taken your course, I would benefit from taking it again.
Absolutely.
But I guess the crux of it is, I think a lot of people, they get confident in something that they see, or they went to some class and they got like a 10-hour certification, or I went through a 3-day class and now I'm a certified badass. I just don't believe that that's true. It's like the Moneyberg, you know what I mean?
Right.
Coming to black belt. I mean, what do you think about that?
I mean, like I trained, it took 10 years to get a black belt, right? And I'm training.
And you do it all the time.
3-4 days a week. And when I was a purple belt, 7 years into this, I started teaching. So I'm teaching classes, multiple classes a week, training 15, 20 hours a week. And it still took close to 10 years.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
you don't go into it with everybody wants to be a black belt, but you go into it thinking, I just want to learn and I just want to grow. And like, I want to be able to protect myself and my family and my friends. And if a situation comes up, I want to know what to do. And I want to get in good shape and I want to have that mental aspect. I think that's the thing Jiu-Jitsu's done for me more than anything, or martial arts, is the mental aspect. Like if I got a 280-pound guy laying on me, smashing me, trying to fold me in half or bend my limbs the wrong way, like mentally I know how to relax and handle that pressure.
Yeah.
Which allows me to handle other kind of pressures outside of the gym in life, whether it's relationships or there's problems at work, whether, whatever it is.
Yeah. So you think it transfers?
100%.
Yeah. It's a mindset. It doesn't matter where it's applied.
Right. Yep. You learn how to deal with stress differently and stay calm in it. And you see it with kids that come in, and we get young kids that come into the gym and they're super hyper. They got problems at school and they start training. And after a few months, you see a change in them where they level out and the parents are like, dude, this has been a life changer for my son or my daughter.
So for kids specifically, what age do you think is a good age for them to start getting into jiu-jitsu?
So I don't want to say any age. Like we start our kids at 5.
5.
So we've had kids come in at 4. Some do great with it. Most of them don't have an attention span.
Man,
so
every kid's got it.
Every kid's different, right? So we've had kids at 4.5 come in and they take off with it. Most of them, it's usually about 5 or 6 that they really can handle, an hour-long class and stay focused and pay attention. And then anything up from that.
Yeah.
Great.
Do you have any students that have been from 5 on that are still going? I know a couple actually when I just asked that question. But I mean, from your experience, have you watched these kids grow up with jiu-jitsu, and what does that look like for them?
Just their level of self-confidence in themselves and their ability to talk to other people and just feel good about themselves is game changer.
Do you think that there's a correlation between your physical movements and your mental movements, and like when you can master one, it kind of pushes over to the other?
Yeah, 100% does. You know, I don't think I've ever gone to the gym and worked out and then left going, man, I wish I hadn't come in, right? You get those endorphins, you get that movement, you do something that, and you hear guys all the time be like, man, today sucked. I had to come into the gym and just gave me an hour to get away from the world and just do something active, whether it's jiu-jitsu or whatever your outlet is, right? Maybe it's gymnastics or weightlifting or dance, whatever your outlet is, something physical that can get you out of that headspace for an hour or two, I think is huge.
Well, I like dancing, weightlifting, fighting. That's what I do.
There you go, man.
You know, and that's what I do on the mats.
Yeah. Bench pressing the small guys off of you.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think I can lift this guy. Let's not. No. No. And then, in all fairness, stress is going to happen in life, and how you deal with it, it changes over time or it doesn't. Do you think that the kids are learning that this is a good outlet, it's a healthy outlet? And like women too, like when women come out, I know I've recently started to bring my future wife into the gym, and she's changed the way she stresses out just from the workouts that we're doing and the pressure that we're putting on her. But how do you see that? How do you see that translation, the stress and the stress relief in your process? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so I'll talk about it from a couple aspects. You mentioned like kids, and so we've had kids come in, bullies at school, picking on other kids, come in, training with us, and I see that temperament go down. And some parents will be like, I don't know, this kid's already a problem. I don't want to teach him how to fight now.
Right.
But just learning how to be humble, because there's always somebody bigger and stronger.
Always somebody.
You walk into the gym thinking you're pretty tough, and all of a sudden you're getting humbled quick.
If you've never fought, you think that way.
Right, you've never
like
fought.
If you've never been in a fight, you think you know how to fight.
Yep.
But whenever you go into that first fight, you realize people move when you try to hit them, and it's not fun anymore.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah.
And so we see these kids go from thinking they're the bully at school to all of a sudden they've mellowed out. And I've watched kids do that, and kids I've kind of had a somewhat of a relationship with, a new outside of the gym.
Yeah.
Come in, see them level out, got too busy, parents pulled them from the gym, and then you see them start acting out again later. It's like they just stuck with it. Their kid would be a different person.
Do you think it's the physical like release of endorphins, or like there's something that happens whenever you engage your mental, your physical, and your breathing, bro? I mean, like, no one talks about that aspect of it. Like you said it earlier, and I'm just gonna pick on it because you said it, and a lot of people probably glaze past it. But like, whenever you're put into a pressure state, and you can take that breath and realize it's going to be okay, it changes you. It changes your life.
Yeah.
So like, I can see kids not understanding that process and then calming down because of it. But when it's taken away, they revert back.
They do.
Yeah.
And I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Like real world experience. I've seen kids I know come in with problems. They're doing better. A few months after they leave, they're kind of back to their old ways. And, it's like, man, just get back in, get them back in here. Like, and you see it with adults too, right?
Yeah. Like,
so it's not just kids.
For women, I think there's a difference with women, because women don't want to go in and fight with men. Like, I know, like my fiance, she's like, I don't want other men crawling on me. I'm sorry. I'm like, no, I get it. Yeah. Trust me. I don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
But like, there's a women's class, and I think it doesn't matter who your partner is in the learning process. You're gonna realize that there's a humble factor and a breathing factor and a physical mental connection that's all going to happen through the practice of anything that's self-defense or martial arts.
Yep, for sure. And I've trained from, I don't know, probably 40, 50 different gyms.
Yeah.
Just visiting, traveling from Hawaii all the way to Europe.
Okay.
Right. And 99.999% of them are all the same. It's just good people looking to get a good workout and help each other out. The martial arts community, I think, is different than just about any other community out there.
It's a life hack, man.
And people, and I get it, women can feel uncomfortable rolling with a guy or something. For almost all, it's very rare that the guy's looking for something different than just a good workout and a roll. And women should feel safe and feel like I can be comfortable there, and that, yeah, this guy outweighs me. He's not going to try and hurt me. He's going to allow me to work in that. And if there's somebody that's not doing that, they're not going to be at the gym. Like, they're not welcome if they're looking to take advantage.
Let's just talk about that. Let's dive into that, because a lot of people don't hear this conversation. If there is somebody at the gym that's threatening or going to hurt somebody or has that weird tendency, I think the girls call it the ick. If there's an ick factor to a dude, what do you guys do as gym owners?
We don't want them there. I don't want them there.
How do you approach that?
This is a family environment.
It is.
Like our gym particularly, like when we opened, it wasn't about we're opening a business to make money. We all had full-time jobs outside of the gym when Wyatt, Tyler, and I opened this gym. We want a good place where people can train. We want a family environment, and we just want to train and share our knowledge with people. That was it. If it made money, great. If it didn't, so what? If I made zero money doing what I'm doing, I would still do the same thing today because I believe in it so much. So we want an environment where people are safe, and every gym does that. And so if there's somebody there, man, you got to have a hard conversation, and either they're going to change or they're not going to be welcome. And that's even that ick factor, or you get guys come in that just thinking they're all that, and they're trying to hurt somebody every roll. And it's like, dude, you need to calm down.
All right, let's dig into that one a little bit further, because I've been in environments where I'm like, okay, I just got a bloody nose from you, dude. I didn't realize we were at that level. You know what I mean?
Right.
How does someone who's new to the gym have that conversation with somebody who's escalated probably a little too hard? Maybe they're new to the gym too. How does that conversation
so I think part of it is, having that open dialogue and knowing that, like, we're not there to hurt each other. Like,
Not supposed to be.
Not supposed to be. It's a contact sport. Things are going to happen. We're going to get hit. I've injured more than probably not on my body at this point, like go through the list of broken, nose, torn rotator, ribs, you name it. I mean, I could give you a pretty good list of injuries that nobody's trying to hurt me. It's a contact sport. Things happen.
Yeah.
So one, we got to recognize that nobody's trying to hurt each other on purpose.
Okay.
If they are, then we're going to have a conversation. And if that's your attitude, is you're going to try and hurt somebody, we're not going to have you there.
Yeah. And you've kicked people out of the gym for that already.
Unfortunately, we've had to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not the type of gym we want to have.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's the type of gym most martial arts gyms want to have.
Yeah, that's good.
I think most martial arts want to help people be better.
Well, okay, so let me transition from martial arts gyms to everyday Americans. Like, self-defense is a real thing that it's needed. Like, people need to have that. We talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. One of the things that is a need for humans is security. Why aren't more people looking at self-defense? Like, why isn't there a self-defense gym? Why do we have to go to martial arts to do that? Or where can someone go to find, self-defense? How do they find you?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think, the things we're teaching in our school apply to real life situations.
That's fair.
Right?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've used a couple of those things in real life.
Yeah. And so it transfers over very, very well. Now, we don't necessarily go, hey, here's how you wrist break, and I teach you how to do that in the gym, but we're teaching you how to roll the wrist. We're teaching you different moves that translate over to that. Right. We don't. So you pick up a lot of that stuff. So you don't have to have just a specific self-defense course.
Man,
but I think people.
But I got to pick on it. We talked about a little bit. Not every gym, not every martial arts gym, not every karate, taekwondo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym is a good gym. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Like, there are bad gyms out there, just like there are bad content providers giving you bad advice.
Yeah.
I'll save that question, but you know, the question is going to be, how do you recognize that early so that you don't waste your time? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because I'll tell you how I found your gym. I was training locally, and I was training with somebody that knew what they were doing. And I was like, where do you train? And they were like, I train over at Ethos. And I was like, Ethos? And then I Googled it, and I'm like, I like this family environment. Looks like they've got a good crew. They're showing a lot of pictures of teamwork. There's people who are trying to improve themselves. This looks like the crowd that I want to be a part of. And then when I tried it out, I met Mike first, and then I met Mike and his wife, and then I met Tyler, then I met you. And I'm like, yeah, I like these people. That's how I did it.
Yeah.
And then as I started to learn from you guys, the things that you guys teach are down to earth. They're quick, they're easy to pick up. And I get the little tweaks that make me better. And I'm like, this is a good gym. But I've been doing this for 30 years, man. And I've left a lot of gyms. And the gyms that I've left, I'm like, why are you teaching that? Like, how does somebody go through that process if they're new?
So I think for me, and maybe I'm a little bit different, like if our gym's not the right fit for you, that's okay.
Yeah.
Go find one that is.
Yeah.
Like we do a week free trial. You can try as many classes as you want for the week. You know, you can do a month to month or a contract, whatever. But there's people that come in and be like, hey, I'm checking out gyms. Awesome. Go check out other ones. Like, that's okay. Like, maybe we're not the right fit for everybody.
Yeah.
And maybe you're not the right fit for us. So
that's good.
Like, that's okay. You know, we've had people that have left and said, hey, I'm going to go train over here. Awesome, man. I'm glad you're still training.
Yeah.
Like,
goes back to you're not doing this for money. You're doing
100%, right.
But the community you're building with a gym is something that no one talks about. Like if you're going to a gym, why are you going to that gym? I mean, and this, I know you're a gym owner, so, and you're totally giving me an unbiased opinion of how you've done it for 30 years. But like for someone who's just entering in, like what are they looking for in a gym? And I'll tell you, like I told you, I was looking for community, mindset, safety, and learning. How do I continuously make myself better and put myself in the environment with other people like that? And I found that at your gym.
Yeah.
But that's not all gyms. Some gyms are out there to make money.
Yep.
Like the belt process is just a money machine.
I came from a gym that was like that.
How did you get the
first
feeling?
one I was at?
No, I mean,
but the first one I was at was phenomenal, where I started jiu-jitsu and got me into it. And I know the professor still, and it's on the West Valley, great place. Second one I was at, I wasn't as happy with because I felt like they were in it to make money, and it was about, hey, let's start charging for everything, and it wasn't about how do we make the students better.
Yeah, charging for everything like belts and like I'm putting a piece of tape on you.
Everything.
Yeah.
Right? It just felt like they were in it to make money and saw it as a business venture, not as I want to help people.
Well, so and there's a balance there. I'm sorry, I'm getting really personal now.
Yeah, that's all right.
There's a balance there because you have to make money to help other people.
You do.
So if you're not making money, you can't keep the doors open. You can't keep it air conditioned. You know what I mean? You can't keep the systems in place that bring people into the door to try out. So there's a balance there, but you can tell. I think it goes back to your spidey sense, man. If you're feeling like this is probably a money grab, probably is.
Go check out a few different gyms. I encourage people, go train over. If you want some recommendations, I'll give you everybody here in Queen Creek. I'll tell you every gym.
Yeah.
Go try them out.
Yeah.
Get a feel.
See where you fit.
See where you fit.
Yeah. Everybody's different.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think people are looking for that camaraderie. They're looking for that.
Let's transfer it. Yeah. I think
family environment. And
I think that too. I mean, that's why I love the gym that I go to, and I'm not going to leave. It's one of those things that it's part of my community now. Like I've had a lot of people from our gym on my show because there's a lot of good people at our gym, man. Like a lot of good people are changing the world at our gym, and that's why
amazing.
That's why I like the MMA community, man. Like you don't go into the MMA community for yourself. It's definitely a team thing. And whenever you start to realize like all of these people are trying to improve themselves and it's improving you, it's a life hack. And no one talks about it like that. And the people that are going there to get the belt, the moneybergs, I will call them, they're just going there to have some clout. No one cares about that, man.
Yeah, I don't.
No one cares about that.
I don't. I said it before. If I didn't get paid for this, I would still do it.
Yeah.
I absolutely I love the community. I love what it does for people.
Yeah.
I love how it helps them in their personal lives. It's so humbling to be. Never in my wildest dreams thought I'd ever be doing something like this.
But you're doing it. And all right, so now, and then you're adding on something that everyone can do. And the self-defense aspect of it. Like I remember when I was growing up, we used to have self-defense gyms and they didn't really last because like the self-defense gym, it's like, it was like a revolving door that it could never keep everyone going through it. So they opened up a martial arts and they would pick a sport. It was not mixed martial arts when I was a kid. I'm old.
Yeah, I'm just as older.
Right. Yeah.
I get it.
So I'm like, I tried Taekwondo. I tried karate because that was very popular.
Yep.
And you could go get your mani-pedi and your karate lesson. You know what I mean? It was like, am I really getting something out of this other than a mindset? And then, you go into there, you get boxing. Another thing, they were never all combined like they are now. And that's such a blessing when people are looking at it. But like the self-defense aspect, you answered it like any MMA gym is going to give you a self-defense level. But like the basics, like why did you take that apart and say, I need to do this for the society that we live in? Because it's definitely a need, man. Like what made you take that jump and say, I'm going to offer, some opportunities for people to learn?
It's like you said before, you've seen stuff online of people getting hurt and nobody doing nothing. And they didn't know what to do. And being a husband, a father, a grandfather, of a granddaughter, a daughter, a wife, a mom. I have a mother. She passed away a couple of years ago. But sisters, like they all mean the world to me.
Yeah.
And I would be devastated if something ever happened to them. And when I saw online the things being taught wrong, somebody's got to do something about it. Like there needs to be correct training out there, done the right way by people that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean I'm the expert, right? I mean, it's just people need to know how to defend themselves in tough situations. That's what got me into it, is the love I have for the people in my life and wanting to protect them.
Yeah. I think everyone comes to the level of no one's coming to save me. They come to that realization, but they don't know where to go with it. And so how do people find you? How do people find your service that you're providing?
So I have a website, right?
What's the website?
EmpoweringYouSelfDefense.com.
Okay. We'll put it up here. Yeah.
Right on. So obviously same thing it's on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So all the socials and that, and we're just building it out and expanding it now. But anything I can do to get the word out there, I want to get it out there, and we want to help people.
Okay.
We want people to feel safe and protected.
That's awesome. Are you just working in Arizona only, or do you work in other states?
I'll go wherever.
Okay.
I don't care.
All right.
Whatever we can do to help people.
So what's a normal class look like for you, like size wise?
So I think, it depends, right? If it's a smaller class, 20 people or less, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
If it gets more than that, and I don't want to go too much more than that, I'll bring another person with me that's trained and knows what they're doing.
Do you do like all day events where you can do like 20 in the morning, 20 at lunch?
Yeah,
20?
absolutely.
You can do that?
Yep.
So if
that church event I did for a youth group, we had 6 courses over 2 days, me and another black belt. So we were up there at a youth camp for 2 days with them, and we had hour classes each day for different age groups. We had 12 and 13-year-olds, 14 and 15-year-olds, 16 to 18-year-olds, and guys and girls broken up, and so we were up there for 2 days.
That's awesome. Do you that's very similar to like a conference. Would you do a conference if somebody asked like?
Absolutely.
So like a team building thing, they do a breakout room.
Yeah, it's your national sales conference or whatever, right? You're bringing everybody in.
Yeah.
Like
you would.
you know how many sales meetings I've sat in, like 3-day meetings where you're just like, right? They try to bring in a motivational speaker, which is awesome, and they usually bring in good people.
Yeah.
And that's it's. You hear some great stories, and you get to feel goods about it and stuff. but you're still sitting listening.
Like a sales kickoff.
Having a breakout where your sales team's getting some self-defense training, because your salespeople are out there in the field, right? They're usually alone by themselves. And
you never know.
Whether it's salespeople, realtors, nurses out in the field. I mean, you can name it. There's so many industries. I did one for a house cleaning company.
You did?
It was a company in Tempe that hired a lot of ASU students, a lot of girls.
Okay.
They had a situation. So she was looking for it. An HR friend of mine that I know a guy. You got to talk to David. Went out there and did an 1.5-hour course for him. And they were like. So
it's not just corporations. This could be small businesses. If you've got a small team that does services in the area and you want to make sure that you as a business owner, give them the confidence that they need to feel safe and secure at their job, you would do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So
it doesn't take, how long is the class? Like an hour and a half?
Yeah.
So 90 minutes.
90 minutes, and they're having a blast. It is, every course I've done, I've not had a single person say, I don't want to do this again. Everyone's like, I want to sign up again. When's your next one?
Nice.
It's a lot of fun.
I mean, it sounds like it's beneficial, it's fun, and it's affordable. I think we talked about the prices. Do you want to talk about the prices?
Yeah, we can. I mean,
they're on your website.
No, not yet. We can, but I don't have a problem sharing them out there.
I think but your prices are going to change. I don't know when people are going to see this.
Yeah, you never know.
You know what I mean?
It's affordable. It's comparable to if you're a business taking your people out and doing an event somewhere else.
Oh yeah.
It's comparable to any type of team building event you're going to do.
Okay.
I want. So
you're
pricing,
another option for team building.
I want it to be comparable to that. That it's like, all right, we can go do axe throwing, or we can have somebody come in and do a self-defense course.
I like that.
And have some fun together.
Yeah. So anybody who's out there looking for something, and I'm just going to talk to you. I mean, if you're watching this and you're thinking, man, maybe I should do this, like the website's in our link, man. I can absolutely attest for this man. He's taught me a lot. And, I was a combatives instructor. I fought my whole life. I usually do stuff with like combat gear on. So the stuff without combat gear is all new to me, but I'm loving it. And you're definitely one of the people that I go to for a lot of advice, especially in the fight world. So I trust you like more than you probably know.
I joke that I'm in the gym, and I'll say it often, like, man, I'm a 50-year-old overweight asthmatic grandfather, but this stuff works, right?
It does, yeah.
My best, when we have new people come in, Marcus in the gym. First day he walked into the gym, it was, we were at another place. My son is like my height.
Yeah.
He's about this big around, 130 pounds. Maybe he's like 5'10", 130 pounds.
Yeah.
Marcus is, well over 200 pounds, 6'4". I don't know how tall he is. He's tall.
Yeah.
First day in, I can do this. And I said, hey, go roll with Connor over there. And he looked at me. He's like, do you want me to be easy on him? I said, you do whatever you want to do. Connor choked him out 3 times in 5 minutes. And Marcus said, what just happened? Like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
And it's not the big, scary looking dude, right?
Never is.
It's so, it's anybody can learn to do it. And it's all technique. And I've just fallen in love with the mental aspect of the sport. And it's, they say it's for everybody, but not every gym's for everybody. You got to find the right one.
Yeah.
Maybe one gym's like, all we do is we're trying to train world champions, and maybe you're not wanting to do that. I think that's what we have a good mix at Ethos is we got guys that are hobbyists all the way up to the guys that want to go compete at worlds.
Yeah.
And want to go pro in MMA. Like
you have a couple world champions in the gym, and then you have like amateur belts too, and got jiu-jitsu trophies, and everyone. See a lot of hands rose at the competitions. I mean, you guys do it. If they want to do it, they do well.
If they want to do it, we'll support them and help them reach whatever their goals are. Our job as owners, as black belts, professors, is to help our students get where they want to be.
Yeah. So I'm just going to give you guys some props. When I was sponsoring Rough MMA as the show, I asked them, I said, hey, what are the best gyms in the Valley in Phoenix? And they gave me, the standard ones that produce UFC fighters. Red Hawk Academy has got a lot of UFC fighters now. I think they have 3 as of late. So they named Red Hawk. And then you guys were like 2nd or 3rd for jiu-jitsu. Jay Page's is the gym that pretty much is Valley all over. You usually see a Valley, Jay Page's gym. And
Yep, we're an affiliate of Jay Page's.
Yeah, so like, but they went to you guys specifically for jiu-jitsu because a lot of the MMA fighters and then a lot of the jiu-jitsu fights in the local area, you guys win a lot of them. You guys win a lot of them. Like your jiu-jitsu it's great.
Yeah, we have a great team.
But you know, not everyone's competing in your gym either, which is awesome.
No, you're right. It's pretty humbling. Like,
yeah,
to hear some of the top names in the Valley. If someone's moving out to Queen Creek, where should I train? Don't go anywhere else but Ethos.
Yeah, I hear that all the time.
I do too. It's humbling. It's amazing.
And you built that, bro. So
Part
congratulations.
of it. Yeah,
I'll give you some flowers on that, man. That's awesome. Yeah.
It's you know, it's the community. It's not just me. It's not just Wyatt. It's not just Tyler. It's all the professors. It's all the coaches. It's all the students. Like we've built an environment that is just a community of people that just love and care about each other.
Oh, you got Joe teaching pad work. You got Jake Reed is now doing a lot more coaching.
MMA and
you know, and then you have these new kids that are just coming up quick because of all the experience that's in the room. And when you're looking at like what can actually save my life, like that's you guys have that good mix, but it's not one of those things where like I gotta feel like I gotta come in and compete.
Right.
You know, I'm a hobbyist, man. I'm never gonna compete.
Yeah, I've competed, but you know, and I'll probably compete again. But I'm a hobbyist too, right?
Yeah.
I say I'm a hobbyist, but it's my profession.
Yeah.
But you know, you walk into our gym any given night, you're going to have
who knows
a dozen, you know, anywhere from 3 to 5 or 10 black belts on the mat.
Yeah.
And other high level rank guys that are there just because they love the sport and they want to help out and teach each other. And
it's so good.
It's so much fun. And I think the hardest thing is walking in the door that first time. That's where the scariest part is. And I give props to anybody that walks in the door to try out a class the first time, because that's tough.
Yeah.
But
that's the belt system. I've heard it said multiple times. What's the hardest belt to get?
Yeah, it's your white belt, right?
Because you gotta say, I'm gonna go walk through that door to get that white belt. And the other one is a black belt is a white belt that never quits, something like that.
Yeah, you hear that a lot too.
Have you heard that?
Oh,
how does it go? Is that?
Yeah, no, you got it. You're spot on. Yeah. I'm not a world champ.
Yeah.
I'm not a competitor that gets out there every day. But I got a black belt, and it's because I just kept showing up.
Yeah.
And just kept training and kept learning. And I've had my black belt for about 4 years now. I've probably learned more in the last 4 years than I did in the 10 years it took me to get it.
Yeah.
Because my mindset's different, and I'm focused on little details and transitions and positioning more than just let me learn a submission.
Yeah. Well, so like when you teach it, it's different too, and you're doing a lot of like tweaks for people who are learning it for the first or the 15th time, and they just haven't seen that one tweak that makes it work.
Yeah, you talk about being a black belt, right? Like, so I've got a black belt. My 2 brothers train; they're black belts.
Yeah,
their jiu-jitsu is different than mine, right? Yeah. Everybody gets a little bit different spin on jiu-jitsu. That's their game. So I give him a black belt in David jiu-jitsu. I got stuff that works great for David.
Yeah.
You know, my brother Doug's got stuff that works great for him. My brother Dan's got stuff that works for him that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
But I think and same with Wyatt and Tyler at the gym, we each have things, and all of our other black belt instructors have different things that's their game.
Yeah.
But I think a good teacher has to be able to go, this isn't my game, but it's going to fit your body type, and it's going to work well for you. And I know how to teach that way. It's not going to work well for me in a fight.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this, but you need to do this. And a good instructor can recognize that it's not just my game that I need to teach. I need to teach you your game and what's going to help you develop your jiu-jitsu game.
I mean, so what I just heard you say is the journey to get your black belt is personal, but after you get your black belt, you start thinking about the community of jiu-jitsu a lot more than you did on that journey to your own black belt.
Yeah, I'd say that's true.
It's
very true.
But dude, I've never heard that ever. And it makes so much more sense because whenever I get personal instruction, like on whatever we're teaching for the day, someone comes around, they look at me first, and then they look at what I'm doing, and then they say, you should do this. And I've never heard that until you just said that. I should do this is 100% what I hear a lot. First off, when you're going to jiu-jitsu, let me spoil it a little bit. They're going to tell you you're strong. That means you're stupid.
Oh, you're really strong.
You're really strong. That's not a compliment. that's you didn't listen usually, but it's being nice. It's like Southern. Jiu-jitsu is like the Southern twang to martial arts. They're going to give you something that's sounds sweet, but it's a zinger.
Yeah. It's like there's nothing wrong with being strong. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, use what you got, but it means you're not using the technique, right?
Exactly what it means.
Caio Terra's 12-time world champion, one of the best martial artists out there in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he's 127 pounds, and you see him you can watch competitions of him online, and his whole thing is technique conquers all.
Yeah.
And it's not about the size, it's the technique. Strength comes into it and size can come into it, but that's the whole point of where Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu came from, is somebody smaller being able to subdue a much larger opponent using leverage and technique.
Yeah.
So I think there's more mental aspect to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu than physical.
Now, when you're talking about that, how did that translate to your self-defense teachings?
So it applies perfectly with it, right? It's what I'm showing is nothing I'm showing you got to be strong, right? It's all technique. It's all doing it the right way to get out of it, to get out of that situation.
All right. Yeah. I mean, that should say enough. That should say enough. So we'll put your website up there. Instagram, can they reach out to you? Are you someone managing your Instagram, or is that you?
It's me.
Okay. So they can reach out to you on your Instagram?
They can reach out to me. Yep. So either it's at dhoops22 is my Instagram. David Hoops, I'm on Instagram. Yep. But I've also got Empowering You Self-Defense Instagram.
Okay.
Facebook.
So those two will work.
LinkedIn.
And then the website has a link that they can fill out.
Yep. There's a form in there you can fill out. My cell phone number's on there. You can call me.
Wow.
I want to help people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super empowering, man. Well, thanks for coming in the studio.
Thanks for having me.
I always end with this question, and it's a doozy. If you could go back 15 years and give yourself any advice, whether it's martial arts, relationships, you as a man that has reached this level, what would you tell yourself?
Just believe in yourself, right? Just believe. If you think you can do it, go do it, right? And I've said it before, either whether you can or you can't, you're right. Yeah. And just have some trust. Believe in yourself and just go out there and conquer the world, man, because I think we have so much more potential than we give ourselves.
Yeah, Ford said that, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And that is so true that, but it's a hard lesson learned, often.
Yeah.
Often we defeat ourselves, don't we?
Yep.
All right, brother. Well, thank you so much for coming in the studio. I can't wait to give this to the world.
Thank you.
And it's going to be good. I'm going to close out the show. So thank you for coming into Targeted one more time. This is an opportunity for you to ask questions. It doesn't stop here. Reach out to Dave, ask him questions, check him out, bring him into one of your events, one of your corporate boardrooms, for crying out loud. Bring him into your business and let him make an impact on you, because he's definitely making an impact around here. And I'm Atlas Aultman. I'm going to remind you to aim for excellence and stay on target. Good night. Stay with us as we stay on target with another awesome episode coming up next. We'll see you there. And subscribe to Targeted now. As an ambassador to buckedup.com, I get to give you our special discount. That's Atlas25 when you go to buckedup.com to get that special discount. Only for our listeners, Atlas25. Go to buckedup.com now. Entrepreneurs, you're wasting money. Are you paying for TV, radio, maybe even newspapers? I gotta tell you, that's all dead. What's new? Well, I'm glad you asked, Atlas. It's podcasting. Just so happens I have a very successful podcast that I can put you on.
We're looking for guests. So if you have a product or service that will help people, hit us up. Atlas Aultman Targeted Podcast. We bring new audiences to new people, and we bring new people to, well, you check us out.